Okay, video finished and ready to be uploaded. I just have to set a thumbnail. First, let's just check what's going on with Steam. That's great. The thingy. Shadow Mordor. That's pre-order. Wait, what do you mean pre-order? What does it mean pre-order? Standard edition? What? Silver? The World of Men is ending? Is this? Oh my god! Oh! Shit! Celebrimbor, no! Oh, it's Sauron. How you doing, Sauron? Oh, I saw a big orc there. I hope there's big orc. Please, enemy types be different. Are we gonna have ring powers? Oh, he's a Jedi! The Force! Shadow of War. Oh my gosh. He's coming for him. Not in a gay way, though. Yes. Well, it's finally here. It's been confirmed. Shadow Mordor 2 is coming, and we're going to get the first peek at gameplay on March 8th, so that's going to be pretty exciting to see some new things, maybe a newer engine, maybe some cool thingamajiggers going on in there. But before that, I really want to think about what I want to see in the next game, some things that I would like to see coming from the Shadow Mordor series, what I'm expecting, what I want to happen for it to be a good game, so when I'm going into it, I can kind of dissect it better and know exactly how to review it and how to look at it with unbiased eyes. But the timing could not be more perfect. I mean, I was literally walking home from school yesterday and I was thinking about, if Shadow Mordor 2 came out, what would I want in it? What type of gameplay would I want to see? You know, the first game was really good, but the Nemesis system was what took a good game to be a great game, and it really took it to the next level, but a lot of the systems in it were more so proof of concept more than anything. The Nemesis system, the weakness and strength system, a lot of the things were more so, this is something we can actually pull off. So here we go, we're pulling it off, rather than showing all the creative ways which you can implement and pull it off. And I'm really hoping the next game they will be able to take those systems, polish them, and take them to the next level and show all the creative and cool ideas you can use with them. Either way, that doesn't really matter. I'm going to do a full Let's Play of the game when it comes out and put it on the channel, and that's going to and it's not going to bias how good I think the game is, but I'm going to enjoy it far more just because of the fact I'm going to be commentating over it. I always do. I always enjoy it far more when I'm Let's Playing it. So that could make it harder to judge and give its merits where it's due and where it's not due. But I'm pretty sure I should be able to do it unbiasedly anyway, especially with this video setting up my expectations for it. Some of the things I would like to see in the newer game would be basically just improvements on the last one and things that I felt like the last one really fell down on. One of the things was enemy types. There were not a lot of enemy types in the previous game, and from the looks of the trailer, I saw a couple different things that look like new enemy types. A larger orc type creature, and of course, the big demon man himself, the Shall Not Pass monster, which has a name but it escapes me at the moment because I'm not that familiar with the Lord of the Rings lore. But just having a few new monsters would be really helpful. In the previous game, we only had 3 types, and that was, ooh. There were some things that mixed up gameplay, but really the only thing that truly mixed up the gameplay were the arrow throwers, the spear throwers, and they did vary things slightly, but not enough to really add any difficulty to the game. The game was severely easy. It's severely lacking any difficulty, and even someone like at my level, who is not the best at games generally unless there's a lot of time put into them, I could probably run the game without putting any runes on or really any preparation for the guys, and it's just not that difficult of a game overall. There's a lot of easiness to it. There's a lot of things that you could just do and you could just completely cheese it that basically were anything past just challenging a guy straight up. And even challenging a guy straight up would just be, if you press the buttons on time, you pretty much always got it. One of the ways I think they can fix this is really taking more advantage of the strength and weaknesses systems and really fleshing that out, instead of having a captain just every single war chief being, they can only be damaged by combat finishers, having it be where they can be damaged only by stealth attacks, so you have to stealth in and out, in the shadows, out of the shadows, in the shadows, out of the shadows. It's the only thing that can damage them, or they can only be damaged by fire attacks. I mean, the rune system also was one of those things that was cool. It gave you some more power, but did not change really much at all. I would really love it to see if every time before you go into battle, you really have to think about what you're going in with, the build you're going in with, all the stuff you're putting on your weapons, all the war chief's strengths and weaknesses, all the little guy's strengths and weaknesses. I'd really appreciate it if you just swapped your runes in and out. You know, one guy can be hurt by fire attacks, or one guy, maybe he's got a flaming body. Every time you you hit him, you get set on fire. Vulnerable to stealth attacks and combat finishers. So you could go in and just combat finisher attack him all the time, but you'd be consistently being burnt a lot. And I mean a lot. But if you're stealthing in and out of the shadows, slowly damaging over time, you would be losing a lot of health because every time you dart away, you'd be losing health pretty rapidly. So you'd have to do it really fast and efficiently to be able to pull it off. Or you could do a counter build. Let's say you do a poison rune build and you put a bunch of poison things on your weapons, and then you just go in a straight up fight. And this time though, every time you hit him, he's being poisoned severely and his health is dropping almost as fast as yours is. Sure, yours is dropping faster, but you got the advantage because you're the player, and you can just start the fight off with a sneak attack, then just go in and bam, poison hit him all the time. Things like that, just little things, a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different playstyles, a bunch of different rune builds that could really shape and change how things are played. Playing up the weakness and strength system better than just, at the end of it, it was basically just combat finishers was the only way you could really hurt things, and they are vulnerable to everything else. That was a little bit lacking. I'd love to see a much more creativity and much more emphasis put on building your character. Another way I think building your character could be good, and this is going to go a little bit into my main big idea for what I'd like to see, but having like buildables, instead of having unlimited daggers, you can just throwing unlimited daggers at anyone, having limited daggers, or having limited other things, and maybe making them a bit more powerful, and you have to either find them or craft them. And crafting, yes, that's a big buzzword no right now, but I kind of have a decent idea. Stick around, I'm going to try to explain to best of ability, but certain resources, maybe like a potion you can get that will increase your speed temporarily, or a potion of invisibility that will make you invisible for 30 seconds, things like that, things that could be really valuable and really change up your gameplay. And maybe there's people who could see invisibility potions, or people that are invulnerable to certain poison type potions, or maybe there's certain explosive things like arrow types. Having arrow types would be great, being able to poison arrows, explosive arrows, and these are all things that were in the base game, they just weren't really used. So making special arrow types along with the normal arrows that you can just get anywhere would be really awesome to see, and also would lay up the weakness system and strength system a lot more, being able to say, this guy's invulnerable to explosion arrows, so I can't just spam build those and shoot it over and over again. I really have to think of a new strategy. But if there's ever a guy who isn't invulnerable to explosions, then explosion arrows all day long. But maybe you run out and a new guy comes up and he's really threatening, you have no way to take him on, you have to completely think outside of the box because you just use all your explosion arrows. Situations like that I really want. And like I was saying, there's one thing I would like to see that the game studio that's making this I really think could pull off. I would like to see another huge system. I want them to focus on the Nemesis system and actually make them a very worthwhile system, but I'd also like to see another large system added in that can really improve upon it, that they just play off each other really well. In the first game, if you branded no-name orcs, it didn't matter. They just despawn, they'd go away, they'd wander off. It did not matter unless you were specifically setting up a trap somewhere. So what if it did matter? What if branding no-name small orcs, or grogs, or uruks, or whatever things are out there, uruks and orcs are the same thing, but still, this branding things really did matter. What if you could say, brand a bunch of orcs in a certain area and have them take over that area and start doing things there? That's right, I'm proposing the idea of a living world map. A world map that's consistently moving and flowing on with time. That way you don't have infinite time to see like certain events to stay there on the map infinitely, basically, or they stay there for so long, it might as well never run out of time. At everything you decide to do, you're running out of time in different locations. That puts real emphasis, real edge to every situation and every decision you make, really adding player agency to everything you do. But on top of that, a living world map could also allow things like branding opportunities, where you brand a bunch of orcs so they can guard a caravan, or you brand some sort of animal to carry a caravan, and every time you brand something, you can send them to like a location to be like in a stack of statistics that you can send out to different locations. And from slaves you can send them to mines and they can mine up ore, and that is given to the caravan. The caravan is going to a refinement and you can refine those ores into daggers or into arrowheads. Things like that, things that kind of build off of each other, like being able to set up a more specific build against stronger enemies with with the world system that would play off of the Nemesis system would be huge. Imagine if instead of your Nemesis just, spouting something out at you, he actually had a vendetta and would go after your caravans or after your camps. So every time you have a big enemy, he's really hurting you. He's hurting your resources, he's hurting the areas you've captured, he's hurting all the work you've put in. So you really want to take this guy down, and you feel it's of utmost urgency to do so. And because it's utmost urgency to do so, you do that instead of doing something else, which leads into something bad happening. There's a brawl going on over here, but what's the worst case scenario? This guy kills the war chief and becomes war chief. No way, he's got like so much less power. I'm gonna deal with this guy who's annoying me. But then that guy, you thought no way he'd become war chief, becomes war chief, and all of a sudden his stats and abilities are far superior to anyone else's, and he's a real pain to deal with. And maybe he gets a lucky kill on you, and he just hits max level, and he just is unstoppable for where you are right now. Things like that, I would love that. I would love a living world map in the game. I'm not saying this is definitely the only way to go if this isn't in the game. 0 out of 10, too much water, IGN. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I feel like something big has to be added in as well that especially goes well with the Nemesis system. I feel like a living world map would be a great way to do it, and I'm hoping something in that vein would happen. Something huge, some big system that's a lot of fun that really compounds the other systems or really makes everything flow and live and breathe much better would be great. And something like a world map, I think, is a great way to go about it. I would not be unhappy if they did this. But of course, if they come up with some other plan I just never even thought of, that's just the greatest thing ever, that's just revolutionary, I'm not going to complain, really. I'm not going to complain. In the end, though, I guess the most we can hope for is that the final boss of the game isn't a quick time event, really. We can only hope. We can only hope.